All right, I think we're live already. We're kicking in on some of the other stuff. Let's see, it's sending data.
There you are.
Yeah, we're here. What's up, everybody? My name is Jared Seymour. This is Kevin Harris, and this is episode 4 of The Sound, where we bring you unsigned music from the Gulf Coast and the surrounding regions, pretty much wherever the hell we want to feature music from. Got some in-studio guests tonight. Is that right?
We do. We actually, is that me?
Yeah, that's your computer. Turn your sound off when you computer.
I got you. I got it on mute. So tonight we've actually got, we've already got James Gillies in the studio. He'll be joining us here in just a few minutes. Derek Norsworthy will be joining us. Scheduled to join us is Mike Collette. I don't know if Mike is actually going to be here or not. He told me he was. So, and then we have a third co-host tonight, or a second co-host.
Yeah.
Or a third co-host.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's third.
Three. So we got 3.
It's J-Bob.
Yes.
Right. What's up, J-Bob?
I'm here for no reason whatsoever.
No, man.
People.
You fit in the local music scene, bro. You're totally relevant.
Yeah, so
you know.
Semi-retired.
Well, let's see. Fall as well.
Yeah.
Wait, I gotta think something going on
Go ahead.
here. Fall as well. Falls from grace, and that's all I can. I drank a lot. Oh, that's all I can say.
Tell us what it was.
Let me name off some of the other bands I was in. I was in a punk band called Mother Bear. I was in a band called Revision A.
Jesus.
Ferrigno.
Yes, I
Ferrigno,
remember.
yes.
You had hair in Ferrigno,
Yes.
didn't you?
Yes.
That was the last time I had hair. That band made my hair.
Bald people are stupid.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to see.
Oh shit! All right, listen. Let's. Do we want to jump into the first couple?
I gotta mute it again.
What would you do? You unmuted it?
Well, no, I wasn't able to see the comments. Now I can see the comments. So
all right, cool. Listen, people, if you're joining in, I can't see our count, but if you're joining in, and if you could, make sure you like the page.
Don't worry about the count.
And
you just worry about all of this right here.
And stream.
And we'll handle that.
Share the live stream if you could, man. That helps us out a ton. We're live right now on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, if you're into that thing, and I think that's all of them right now.
Yes.
Let's kick it off into video number 1. Bring us into this. Give a little explanation as to what's going on in this video here.
Okay, so this is the band, the Chitlins.
That's correct.
The song is called Homewrecker. I'm doing this without seeing any of it, so I'm hoping I did this good.
Yes.
So basically, it's about. I mean, if you watch the video, it's self-explanatory. A homewrecker, somebody who's getting involved into a relationship and trying to break up the relationship, or her involvement has created a breakup in the relationship.
I like how you really described the song, and all I meant was explain the band. I didn't give a shit. I wasn't talking about like the meaning.
I'm like, that's tasty.
No, it's his Jay Patrick's. Unfortunately, I don't know the guys' names, but they're a local band, man. They play a lot of places around here. So if you like this song, get on the Facebook page. Somebody tag them in the comments, and make sure you try to go out and see them live. So let's get right into the song. This is Chitlins, Homewrecker.
A pretty lady from the Delta, meaner than the day is born. Gonna wish that she never met ya. Lord forgive me if I'm wrong. She's a daughter of the devil. Well, she's an evil through and through. A drama queen on a higher level. And her sights are set on you. You better leave this girl alone. She's so bad to the bone. She's a home record. Hey, yeah. ain't no shame in her game. She's so cold, but her love's the fire. And you're growing, got to lean on the flame. You gotta leave this girl alone. She's so bad to the bone. She's on record. Yeah. She'll leave you all alone when she breaks up your happy home. She's on the record.
You know, if you drive too far north and you start telling them you're from down here, they like to call you something, don't they? Yeah. And it's not a term to be afraid of or offended by. It's a term of endearment. Take my John boat out on the bayou. Cast 'em out and catch me some reds, or I'll lock my lawn chair right there beside you. Twist them tails and suck some head. Down here, we drink beer at casinos. Round here, there's Asians and Latinos. I don't care where you come from. It don't matter when you leave. I'm just glad that you tip almost all of your cash. Proud to be Coast Track. Center console out by them Horrocks, Hurricanes and EBT, Mardi Gras and Flounder together. Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Boom, and we're back, dude. We're back. That was the Tall Boys with a homage to the coast that I think they pretty much nailed. What do you think?
That when we were setting up for the show, I was just going through some of the videos that we had going.
Right?
I hadn't listened to that one yet. I had seen the guys.
You're welcome.
I had seen the guys live at the Hard Rock before, but before they got their drummer, if I remember right. But I hadn't heard that one. You couldn't be more spot on about the coast.
Dude, they nailed it. J-Bob, what do you think?
I mean, my favorite part was the Gulfport Marina.
Yeah, getting a fight with a CB sailor. That was pretty good too. I don't know why, but that was pretty spot on, man.
That was some good stuff.
Pretty spot on.
So right now in the studio with us, James Gillies. For some of you that don't know James has been part of the Gulf Coast music for 20 years,
Something like that.
I was looking at some stuff on YouTube earlier. In 2007, he opened up CPR Fest, I think, which was CPR Fest 7. I think. I don't remember. I drink too much. But 2007, he opened it up with the Star Spangled Banner, and like I was telling you earlier, I watched the video. I forgot that I was the one that introduced you for that.
Yep.
I forgot that I actually
Didn't you
actually work and do shit at one point.
I think you used to have a Britney Spears cover that you did too. Did you ever do one of those live?
No, but give me a second. I can find it in my cheat sheet.
Wait a second.
We used to do
no.
it.
Huh? You did?
Yeah, we used to do Baby Hit Me One More Time.
Maybe that's where I'm getting it from. I don't remember.
You've done.
Yeah,
you've
we
done
did
Britney.
that.
Thank
You've
you.
done- you've
Thank
done
you.
Britney.
Thank you.
I could do
Thank
some
you.
Toxic or some Instinct.
So the upstairs downstairs. Just thinking about that, I think of him playing guitar while on the bar at upstairs downstairs, while his band at the time, Segway, was playing at the upstairs downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a flashback, and the band Segway was probably one of the first bands that I ever played on the Homegrown Show when I took over the Homegrown Show.
What year was that, dude? What year was that?
Had to be 03-ish.
Yeah,
Something
03,
like that.
04, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So
Real quick, James is going to play a song for us live. Something original, right? That's your
Correct.
original
Yes.
song.
Speaking of the Homegrown Show.
But can you want to like tell people what you've been up to recently, or what you got coming up, if anything?
A lot of what I'm doing now are just some solo acoustic shows. Every now and then I'll do some duo shows from my brother-in-law, Rob Gronkowski. He plays drums from the band Biloxi, from Slump, if you're really old
Yes.
school.
Yeah.
And he plays drums with me. He'll be with me in Slidell on January 13th at the Landing. That's at 6 p.m. And if you're out in Pascagoula on the 12th, I'll be at Bozo's 2 for lunch, as well as Sea Grapes Wine Cafe that night at 7 p.m.
And by the way, that is the original Rob Gronkowski, not Rob Gronkowski.
That's why I looked.
No.
That's why I looked. I was like,
No.
wait a second.
No.
Pretty sure something's off here.
Yeah, Rob played drums for Biloxi,
Mhm.
which was Clyde Holly's band.
Dude, that's yes. Yes.
Rest in peace, Clyde Holly.
Yeah, man.
And they were big in Japan.
They were.
So I think they had a #1 hit in Japan at one point, or it was a top 10 hit.
And we got to play Rocklahoma in
Yes.
08. I got to join them for that.
That's awesome.
Nice.
How's it to play something like Rocklahoma?
The lead up was more anxiety and just absolute torture than it should have been. And then we got there and it was great.
When Rocklahoma started, it started off as more of an 80s hair band type festival. Loved it. I mean, at one point, it was Striper and Warrant and Quiet Riot and all that. Now it's gotten more into, are they even still doing Rocklahoma?
I think they do.
believe so.
I think
Yeah,
so.
because now
I think
it's
it's
more.
huge
Now
now.
it's more into the
Yeah.
newer rock, but they still sprinkle in those '80s bands within that set. I think like one time Twisted Sister played it or something like that. So that's a bucket list. Bucket list.
Yeah.
They do camping, all that kind of.
Yeah,
cool,
it's legit.
cool
Donnie,
stuff.
I think Donnie's been more in or wants to go. We've
course he
talked about
has.
it a few times. But anyway, let's bust into it, James. Man, you want to tell us what we're about to hear and kick it off, man?
You're about to hear probably, if you could call it a hit, it would be my biggest hit.
There we go.
This is called "Be So Mean," and some of y'all can sing along, I'm sure.
I'll try not to.
Let me get this.
I mean, I can.
There you go.
It's been a while since I played it, so I had to tune the guitar down to a baritone to make sure I could hit the notes. So here we go.
Sweet.
Remember the night you left at meet up with my best friend and broke my heart in New Orleans and burned my car to smithereens. Well, everybody I was gay won't give me the time of day. Won't be at my next show. I've asked you 5 times, still you tell me no. Like a superhero, fly down to where you are. It's still my wallet and max up my credit cards. Something's telling me that this just ain't my scene. Why do you have to be so mean? Didn't you get my last word when you called me a jerk? We're coming over tonight, back to start another fight. And if it's my fault, I confess, but you're making me a nervous wreck. When you hang up the phone, I call right back and a voice says you're not home. Like a superhero, I'll fly down to where you are. Steal my wallet and max up my credit cards. Something's telling me that this just ain't my scene. Why do you have to be so mean? You're like a superhero, I'll fly down to where you are. You steal my wallet and max up my credit cards. Something's telling me that this just ain't my scene. Why you have to be so mean?
Yes, sir.
Very nice,
yes,
man.
sir.
Very nice. Very nice.
So first of all, I felt bad
For J-Bob?
J-Bob, because I'm sitting there watching. He's having to stand over there.
Oh, shit.
And James is playing. He's
He looked
on
like
his
the
phone,
girl that
and-
didn't get picked to dance at the
Yeah.
dance. He's just like standing there
I'm
like,
I'm trying not to like do anything stupid.
you should have put your arm around him, dude. Just like came in, just kind of like one of these.
You
You
got the
know?
lyrics right here. You could have
So
Yeah.
Be So Mean. We were talking about it earlier, and for those that weren't privy to the background conversation, off-air conversation, at one time I tried to dabble into music management, and the band James was in, Segway, was the first band that I attempted to manage, and I will say attempt. But that song was one of my favorites, and I don't remember the story, but you said I told y'all to write a
You
fucking
were
song, and that
half
was
the
it.
inspiration.
Yeah.
You came to a rehearsal and you heard us playing some stuff that sounded like Creed. And
yes.
So did you guys record at Holly House Studios?
we did, yeah.
That was a rite of passage.
It was.
back in the
It
Do
day.
you
was.
still have? Well, I'm sure you do. Is there copies of the Segway album still floating around
There
somewhere?
are, and it's on a lot of the stuff that we re-recorded once I became the singer. We put on online. That's on Reverb Nation.
Okay.
At reverbnation.com/James Gillies. A lot of that's on that page there, as well as the Star Spangled Banner that you can hear with you doing the
Yeah.
introduction.
We have a lot of history together. I like it. I like history. So what? We've already gone over the show. So what is your plan for the future for James Gillies? Is it continue just enjoying what you're doing and
Yeah, try to do at least 150 to 200 shows a year. And,
Damn.
3 to 4, gigs a week. Been lucky. Sometimes I'll, have a slow week and I'll only do 1 or 2. But for the most part, I've been pretty busy. I get to do 3 to 4 gigs a week, and that's just gonna keep on trucking doing that.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, dude. I'm jealous of that.
I played 1 show in the last 3 years.
I think I was at that show. That was the one at Zeppelin's, wasn't it? Was it the one at Zeppelin's?
Was it Zeppelin's?
I don't know.
It was False and Grace and Jane Doe's Dead and Her Fatal Remedy at Zeppelin's.
Because we did.
That was like 73, wasn't it?
What was the other big
y'all did
bar that was in Biloxi?
Y'all did
Crest Live. Yeah, we did do
Was
that.
that the last show?
We don't
I
talk
don't know,
about
man.
that show.
I don't know.
We don't talk about that.
Anyway, are we gonna?
One day, if
I wasn't there, and I don't even talk about that show.
Donnie Moran, if you're watching this, just let us do 1 show, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
The begging and the pleading has begun. I love it.
Yeah.
The groveling.
Yeah.
Somebody get a hold of
Donnie, what's it going to take, man? Donnie.
He know he's watching.
Put
He
it
will
in
be.
the comments.
I got
He
a
will
fresh
be.
20.
What's it going
We're
to take?
talking to you, boy.
So James is actually, you got time to do 1 more for us?
Yeah, if you want. You want it now, or you want to when you want it?
Well, I got Derek sitting over here too, so we gotta wrap you up here.
Okay.
I mean,
Whatever.
If we run out of guests, which we're waiting on 1 to show up, and if he doesn't show, actually we're waiting on 2 to show up. If they don't show up, we'll put you back on.
That's cool.
We'll
Yeah,
let you hang out.
let's do 1 more live song for the people watching, and then
Let's make J Bob as awkward as possible.
we'll get back into some YouTube videos here in just a second. So here we go again with James live
I'm
in the
not
studio,
awkward.
man.
I'm adorable.
There's a nice little drinking song that we celebrated back then called SFD, and I'm sure with the chorus you can tell what it stands for. Well, I won't return this movie on time, and I won't call you back before 9. Wake your parents up each time I do. Ask you out, scan you up 'cause I'm drunk, blacked out in my boss's work truck. Call you when I wake up, 3 a.m. Well, I'm just getting started out again. I know it's not the best thing that I can do, but it's the only thing that helps get me through. Now I'm shit-faced drunk again, 3 sheets to the weather. Yeah, I'm drunk as a skunk, and I don't wanna wake up, 'cause I'm down on my luck, and this whole thing just sucks, and I just want to stay in bed, and I don't wanna feel my head, and I don't want to be sad tonight. Fix me with more Long Island iced tea. Gonna hang around until I can't see. One good reason not to take you home. Gonna break some hearts before it's over, to the tune of Crimson and Clover. Oh, now she comes walking over, and I've been waiting to show her. No, it's wrong of me, but I just can't resist. Sometimes it feels like I was born for this. Now shit-faced drunk again, 3 sheets to the weather. Yeah, I'm drunk as a skunk, and I don't wanna wake up, 'cause I'm down on my luck, and this whole thing just sucks, and I just want to stay in bed, and I don't wanna feel my head, and I don't want to be sad tonight. Everything will be alright if I just make it home tonight. I know It's not the best thing that I can do, but it's the only thing that helps get me through. Now shit-faced drunk again, 3 sheets to the weather. Yeah, I'm drunk as a skunk, and I don't wanna wake up, 'cause I'm down on my luck, and this whole thing just sucks, and I just wanna stay in bed, and I don't wanna feel my head, and I don't want to be sad tonight, 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 tonight.
Very nice. Very nice, man. Very nice. Very, very nice, dude.
Yes.
Thank you for coming in here and
Awesome.
doing that, dude. That was cool.
Thank you so much.
Yes, man. Thank you. Did you say where your next show was coming up? I have a tendency to miss these things.
Next show will be January 12th at noon at Bozo's 2 in Pascagoula,
Awesome.
and later that night at Sea Grapes Wine Cafe in Gulfport at 7.
And I'm sure you're on all the usual suspects, Facebook, Twitter.
Facebook and Instagram, both at just type in James Gillies Live, and on Instagram, James Gillies Live, all one word, and you'll find me.
Perfect, man. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
hang out with us if you want to.
Sure.
As usual, it's an open door.
Yeah.
So if you're in downtown Biloxi on
Howard.
Howard Avenue,
Mhm.
we are at 871 Howard Avenue. Come on in. We'll let you have J Bob's seat so he doesn't feel so awkward all the time.
Shit.
But you can come on in and coming up in a little bit, Derek Norsworthy's here. We're going to chat with him, and but we're getting ready to get into a couple videos now.
Yeah. So the next band is a band that we found, cruising through YouTube, right?
Yes.
And as far as we can tell, they're from Stockholm,
It's
right?
Stockholm. I don't know if it's Sweden or Pennsylvania. I really don't.
And
It
we
just
Googled
says
that too,
from-
by the way. That's the only
from-
reason we know that those are even 2 options, right? Oh, don't try to act like you're
Yes,
smart,
maybe I
dude.
was trying to be smart.
No.
If it's black metal, then probably more.
It's
No,
not.
it's not. It's not. That's why I think it's more Pennsylvania than it is Sweden. But if you look at the band, it could be Sweden. So
We'll see.
I'm
Just,
gonna say
y'all let us know
Pennsylvania.
what you think, man. We found this
No
on there.
Name Faces is the name of the band. The
Yep.
song's called Silence.
All right, let me get this.
We could put a poll up to see if everybody can vote, see whether they're Swedish or.
Let's do it. Drop in the comments. J Bob's got a great idea. Y'all tell us what you think.
Yeah, let us know. Do you think it's Sweden or do you think it's Pennsylvania?
All right, let's go to it.
Are you? You changed so drastically. What used to be has faded away. Something's wrong. Can see it in your eyes. Your mind is here, but your heart is not. somebody take me far away. I know that misery, she loves my company. She tells me so and she steals my breath. Her words, they seem so familiar and comforting. She takes my hand, leads me to rest. She takes my hand, leads me to
Boom, we're back.
I was going to say, I always got to wait on Jared.
Dude, it's
For some reason, I always have to wait on him.
Yeah, the cameras and the equipment and all this shit.
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
All
Go
the
ahead.
hard work you put over there. I know.
Shut up.
So that was the Absence Project, of course, out of New Orleans, and their song No Warning. And ladies and gentlemen, they will be in the concert March 9th at Thunder's Tavern. They will be playing with Modern Mimes out of Florida, curtain call recording artist Modern Mimes. And they will also be playing with Silent Trust out of Long Beach. And Scott Keller Acoustic will be kicking off the show. It's at Thunder's Tavern March 9th. Tickets are available on the event page through Facebook and eventbrite.com. You can just type in Modern Mimes and it'll pull it up. Tickets are $7. So get them in advance. We're going to have a good time. It's the first of...
And what's up, Jody?
Hey, yes, Jody.
He's in here. No, in the comments
I was
section.
like, wait,
Stupid. It's an
you
internet
drive
show.
over from New Orleans?
This is fucking internet shit, you idiot.
You said he's in here. We're in a room. So I looked around and I was like,
I'm not going to argue.
okay.
Just keep going. You were doing
Anyways.
great and I fucked it up.
Yeah, so now I lost
He's talking about the internet, dumbass.
lost total track of where I was at. But it's going to be our first of probably 3 or 4 shows that we'll do this year. And as the scene grows, maybe we can do some more. But speaking of the music scene and someone who's been in it for quite a long time here on the coast, Derek Norsworthy is in the studio. What's up, Derek?
Oh man, glad to be here tonight. So just to kind of segue off of what we just heard. So that band that was Unsigned Band.
Yes.
That band's gonna be at Thunder's Tavern on
March 9th.
So that just reminds me, like, I remember back being on the scene, 17, 18 years old, and the homegrown show and stuff going on, and the scene on the coast being so vibrant. Like, you go see a band that sounds like, you would think that they should be signed,
Right.
or competitive with any signed band out there, and you can go see them at Thunder's, or you can go to the upstairs, downstairs, and just to know that, that there's going to be acts, that quality act on the coast, that gives me hope, because, and maybe I've just been off the coast for a little while and not paying attention as much, and you guys can chime in, but I feel like for a while there we kind of lost some of that momentum that I remember being 17 years old and I got my song played on the homegrown show after like getting all my friends to like even I think we even used a bot back then to like click to get on the show, like
Oh yeah,
cheater!
absolutely.
You cheater!
Yes. Well, it doesn't matter.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding,
That was
dude.
the way to go.
Oh, dude.
It's the cop.
Dude,
but,
damn.
So, we got on the homegrown show, we got in the voting thing back, but that's what it meant back then.
Yeah.
You could go through anything to get on that show, and that inspired, like, that local community. And, like, I mean, we're just a bunch of little kids from over in Escataba, and this, in our brain at that point, just this tremendous, huge radio station out of Biloxi, changing lives of bands like Three Doors Down, Level with the Ground back then.
Level with the Ground.
That's a name I've
Yes.
not heard in
I
a
mean,
long
we were
time.
rocking those guys, and so to know that scene is hopefully, and you guys can talk on it more than I can at this point. But
I think a lot of it has to do with back then. All of us, we were basically just trying to outdo one another, and when you're trying to outdo one another, every band's trying to top each other, and it just makes for a great scene. And it's not like a, no animosity or anything.
Right. It's a good competition.
Yeah.
It's a good competition. Yeah.
It was really. I mean, and speaking of that, I'm kind of ashamed of some of the things that I used to be when I was, a younger kid. But I was an athlete,
Right.
and I was very competitive. And I remember speaking on that and being competitive, and some guys who are really good friends of mine now, Stephen and Andrew Vanette, and they're up in Nashville.
Yes.
I remember we walked into Thunder's Tavern one night for Battle of the Bands, and it was to get play like a CPR Fest pre-party or something like that. And Andrew was playing. We were both in high school, and Andrew was playing baseball. And they had drawn for the last slot that night. Well, Andrew couldn't make it, and they wanted to swap the slot. No, we had the last slot drawn, and he needed it because he couldn't make it for the first slot. And I was like, hell no. Like, no, dude, fuck off. Like, you're not getting that. Quit baseball and start playing music. And that's how competitive I was. And I'm not, like I said, Derek now would totally not do that because that was a dick move. It wasn't nice at all. But that's how competitive that scene was, and that's how, to get to that point.
I hate to say this, but I remember that.
Yeah.
That's cool because I remember all these shows you're talking about. You know what I mean? We were in the scene, J Bob and I at that time. I don't remember exactly what year that was, but I think we were Falls from Grace at that time. But anyway, to know that you were in it that hard, you're like, no way. Just stop playing baseball. Then.
I got played on the homegrown show, and now I'm gonna go play something to do with CPR Fest. And for me, it was like you said back then, the competition. And as I've grown older, I realized that there's a lot better, there's a way to do music community.
Correct.
But I mean, I was just a little 17-year-old punk kid, and I'm like,
that's like what J Bob was saying. I think it's good to be competitive in such a way because if you see another band that plays a good set and they're good, you're like, shit, we got to step up our game, and it makes everybody get better. But it's always kind of weird when you do these competitions because music is a little bit different. Like you want to be the best, but at the same time, I feel like it's more communal than it is a baseball game, right?
Exactly. So now, looking back, over time, there's so much when you really pull the scene together, and the competition did pull the scene together. I feel like it did at that time, but in pulling that scene together, like that, you can help people. You can call on a guitar player if you need one. You can call on a drummer. There's a lot more value in that connectiveness, but just the competitiveness of where that. To get to that spot at that time, I mean, I think everybody was just clawing hungry. Yeah. And then Egypt Central came around, and we were like, "Oh, we're going to practice."
You did that, didn't you?
But he raised the bar.
He did. They were good, dude.
But we did a show when I was at the radio station. We did a show out at the Harley Davidson.
I remember that.
It was. It was.
I
know Castor Troy played it.
I was there. I don't know if we played it or not, but I remember
it was Castor Troy. It was Rev Theory. It was Egypt Central.
Pre or post Katrina?
Post.
Yeah.
And Saliva was the headliner on that show. And when Egypt Central got done, I was leaving, and I stopped at the Shell station right there on Cedar Lake, and they were filling up their van to go back to Memphis. So John Falls and I just started talking. And I'm like, what's it going to take to get you guys down here? Because I think you guys can build this part of the scene.
Right.
And so we started bringing them down here.
Yeah.
And we didn't oversaturate them, but we brought them down probably every 4 or 5 months. They did a show, and they packed it out every single time.
Yeah.
And that's what Rev Theory. I did that with Rev Theory, trying to bring them in a little more often.
Are they still a band?
No. Well, I don't.
You don't know.
They are all. I follow them on Facebook. They're not doing anything currently, but they haven't officially broken up. I think it's been a couple of years, and they've done a song.
Yeah.
But yeah, so pre-Katrina, this might be what y'all are thinking of. Pre-Katrina, we did one at Point Cadet the day before Katrina.
Really? I didn't go to that one.
Hinder headlined it. Rev Theory was there. I think Drop and Trout played it.
No, we weren't playing at that time. Right before
Mikey
Katrina
was
hit.
playing with somebody, and he was there. I remember that.
Everybody remembers Mikey. I love that.
Joshua's son played it.
What's up, Mikey?
We did play that
Yes.
show. That was Mikey. I think Mikey.
Everybody remembers Mikey, dude. Everybody remembers Mikey.
Because we were having technical problems or something while we were trying to play. The whole Power kept going out.
I think I remember him talking about that.
Yeah, the power kept going out.
Terrible weather that night.
Yeah.
Because I remember I wanted to be on that show. But Top of the Orange had called us that night. We opened for them in Mobile, and they were super talented back then at Cell Block. And it was the last show. It was
I remember that.
Before Katrina, it was pouring down rain. And I mean, looking back now, I mean, you go into a show like that, we were, hey, we're coming over, we're going to play, we practice, and they just mop the floor with us.
I did a drowning pool show at Cell Block over in Mobile one night.
That was a great venue.
I loved it.
I really did too. It had just slimy enough to make it like
Yeah.
go in there, but they had a good PA. That's all
Yes.
that really mattered back
Yes, they
then.
did. So let's get into a little bit of what you got going on now. Well, actually, let's go. For those of you that talk about the bands that you were in.
Okay, so for the longest time on the coast, I was in a band called Looking for Juice.
Yes.
And which was not named by me. I'm just going to throw that out there. I've done it for years, and I got to still do it. I'm a high school principal. We won a talent show.
Yeah.
And we won it by playing Baby Got Back, which was another shameful experience of my past.
No, bro, own it, dude. Own it.
But we played Baby Got Back. Won a talent show. We didn't have a name, and the high school principal came on the intercom. It's like, they're looking for a name. They're looking for Juice, and it was like it just stuck.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, now we got to ride with this. But
It's like a
anyways,
Leonard
we wrote that
Skinner
for
story.
we wrote it for like 10 years on the coast, and
Yeah.
how to really started off young and then matured over the years in writing, and had a chance to cut a record with Grammy-winning producer Skid Mills, who had done Saving Abel.
I didn't
He
know
worked
that.
with Saliva. He worked with Egypt Central on their last
Yep.
record, and he's just an incredible rock producer. He's worked with Skillet. I mean, he's got a. And then the last record that I did with Looking for Juice, we did with Skid Mills, and it was
It's cool,
it was
man. This is good
incredible.
intel.
And,
Yeah.
he is like a wizard of a producer, and at that point, we were kind of doing like I would say more. I don't know. We didn't know what we were doing at the 17, 18-year-old, Looking for Juice. And then as we got into our early 20s and doing the record with Skid, we were more like an alt-rock band. So the band, the last record we did with him was like alternative rock, like what you would hear on CPR or any of the stations back then. And he was like the guy. Like, so when we got that, we're like, all right, we made it.
Yeah.
We got a big producer.
Yeah.
He just did Egypt Central, and he did like Absence of Concern and a ton of other, just big bands. But that record, we got it, and the band just kind of started, people, we were kind of getting at that early to mid 20s, and people having families, and some people taking extracurricular paths. And,
Yeah.
and like for all those years, I mean, we were like at the 8 or 9 year mark, which at that point, and it was like tough to hold together. But I was always the glue, and it was like it was kind of my project, and I hated to see it go away. But like we wrote that record for maybe a year, but it wasn't. We didn't rally on it like what we could have. But in that process, I started writing in Nashville quite a bit when I went up to do the record with Skid, and I realized then that, hey man, songwriting is something that that you really enjoy and you're passionate about, and so that would kind of open doors for multi-genre songwriting and so forth. But that was so that was one of the bands I was in. With the segue from the songwriting, essentially went into Derek Norsworthy as a solo artist, because I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna be a songwriter, and I'm gonna put out like a songwriter record and write songs, and if it does something great, someone wants to pick the songs up and use them, great. Because I was just, I guess just just the way the music business is and the ups and downs. I was like, I can be happy, writing songs and maybe do something there. And I put the first record out as a songwriter, and it started catching traction. And I started getting a lot of rights and stuff in town in Nashville. Got a lot of. We opened for Alabama that year.
Damn.
And it was like stuff. But the thing was like Looking for Juice, that I spoke about like the younger version of me, and like there was so much effort, so much try, fight. And when I just laid back and just started being Derek, it was like had better things happening than all those years when I just tried, and maybe I didn't know who I was. Maybe it was an identity thing. All those years I wanted to be like one of the bands I heard on CPR, but was that really Derek?
Right.
You know, but you know, long story short, it did get me to, you know, identifying who that person was, and, you know, found a spot of liberation and where I'm at today.
Well, Kevin was reading off some of the accolades earlier, right? There's a lot.
I love my phone.
That's okay. Pay attention.
Yeah, so I was actually looking on the NAMM website that had some of the stuff that you had done and people that you've shared the stage with or worked with. I mean, it's a who's who of rock and country. Blake Shelton, Miranda Lambert, Charlie Daniels, Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Alabama, Three Doors Down.
The Sound.
The
Tonight.
Sound, yeah.
Shit.
Now
I
you
mean,
can
it just
add
keeps
that.
getting bigger and bigger. You know what I'm saying?
But some of the things that you've done, I'm trying to remember. It came up. It was either during the ACMs or the CMAs. What did you did something with one of them? I thought.
Well, somehow in the process of this whole liberation phase, I got invited to be a voting member for the CMAs and for the Grammys for the Recording Academy. So now I do vote on the voting committee for the CMAs and for the Grammys, which was a huge deal for me because you get a chance to hear when they send you the Grammy ballots to vote. It's like you better get your Spotify playlist ready because it's like hundreds and hundreds.
Oh, I can only imagine.
And what they call like pre-nominations, and so I got a chance to do that, and I've gotten very involved with the Recording Academy and very involved with the CMAs. And what they're doing is on a national level in those genres is building those cultures like what we have here. And they're starting in schools. They're starting. Right. They're grassroots. They're planting seeds throughout the country. So in being there and just being a small part of that, and like it's not like I'm like the voting member. I'm just one of many, but they do have a criteria and a process to get into that. So to get that invitation to be a part of those was just an honor. And like a lot of times when I get the mail from like the CMAs or the Grammys, I'm like, still is Derek Norsworthy on it. Like, this seems like the wrong guy,
right?
So,
that's awesome, dude. That's a big honor. That really is.
It really, and I'm very just humble by that, and I feel like that having those things open up. I've exposed myself to even more music through that because there's just so much stuff that comes. There's so much great music out there. I mean, and they're signed or unsigned, whatever the case may be. But and so it's great to be reminded that even if music feels like it's kind of tapering off in different places, that it's still an art form across the world, and people are still creating great art and great music. And the Grammys. What I liked about the Grammys is a lot of their basis and what they kind of promote to their voting members is that it's more like it's more of the art. It's not a lot of that stuff can be a popularity contest, but they really push like let's get someone out here who is doing something awesome that nobody else has heard, and let's it's kind of more like sort of getting a trophy at closing ceremonies for baseball. It's more like getting grandpa's watch. It means something. So to see that and to see those platforms is inspiring, and just to be exposed to that is like I said, I'm just humbled to be there as a part of it.
So where are we headed?
If you give me a second.
I'm just trying to touch base with you.
Oh, we're good. So we're getting ready to roll into a couple of Derek's songs.
I get nervous.
And we'll chat with him. I got a couple more things that I want to bring up that he's in with and has started. But the first song we're going to get into, if any of you are Netflix fans and have ever seen the show.
What's that? What's Netflix?
The Last Chance U. Do you know what Last Chance U is?
I do.
You met
actually.
my dad before, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably never forgot him. He was like, but my dad helped me for years. But when I first told him about Netflix, he thought it was porn. He's like, "You ever watch that with your mother in the house?" No, Dad.
It's different.
But you know the show Last Chance U, East Mississippi Community College. There were 3 seasons. Well, I think it was 2 seasons with East Mississippi, and the third one was just recently with another one out of Indiana or something like that. but the song that you got was the title track for one of them. It's called "Home of the Lions." So how did you work? How did you get into that part of the deal?
So my entertainment attorney was brokering a deal with Netflix for East Mississippi Community College, and we just started kind of like working together at that time. And in passing one day, he was talking about his deal with Netflix. I was like, I had no idea they were doing this, and I told him, I was like, I played football in high school and I got JUCO offer, so I was familiar with EMCC, but I didn't know that they were what they were until I actually got up there on campus. And he's like, "Yeah, man, if you want to take a shot at writing a song, they're looking for like a theme song." And then I was like, "Well, I would love to." I was like, I played football, and so I went up, visited campus, and really got kind of dialed into what they're doing there, and was blown away. Because Nick Saban lands his helicopter in their practice field to come it's just incredible what they're doing there, and things that are off camera, it's incredible. And so he asked me to write a song, and so it took about probably a week. I went out on campus, came back home, wrote a song, I sent an acoustic demo, and he sent it to the dean of the university, and then they sent it over, and he's like, "Hey, it's exactly what we're looking for." And once again, I was like, "All right. What underwear was I wearing that? I need to wash those and talk more too."
Sweet. Well, we're going to get into that now. This one's called "Home of the Lions." It is Derek Norsworthy. Once again, the title track from Last Chance U on Netflix. You're listening to the sound and watching the sound. Just keep forgetting it.
You're not in radio no more, baby.
I know a place making a big roar down in East Mississippi. It ain't the home of the Bulldogs. It ain't a big old city, but the crowds get loud down in Scuba Town on game day. So be careful where you step. It's a jungle out here. If you take 16 on 45, it ain't a map dot, it ain't a stop sign. There's a little place making a big name down here. We're built on hard work and a lot of pride. We're heading to the top if you want to rise. Yeah, that's what you will find at the home of the Lions. I've heard the growl on the news all across the nation. Rain or shine, hot or cold, we're gonna bring it. We're knocking down walls in education. You ain't gotta look hard to find the state's best kept secret. If you take 16 on 45, it ain't a map dot, it ain't a stop sign. There's a little place making a big name down here. We're built on hard work and a lot of pride. We're heading to the top if you wanna ride. Yeah, that's what you will find at the home of the Lions. If you take 16 on 45, it ain't a map dot, it ain't a stop sign. There's a little place making a big name down here. We're built on hard work and a lot of pride. We're heading to the top if you want to ride. Yeah, that's what you will find. Yeah, that's what you will find at the home of the Lions. We were born to run, we were living on a prayer, burning hearts like Jack and Diane, living for the day and working on the night moves. We were wild horses in a small town, brown-eyed girls and sharp-dressed men. I rewind to the past when I look back
these photographs. We were raised by the radio, tuning our time, learning about love from the songs we love with the speakers cranked up. We were flying through life with our fingers on the dial. It's a crazy ride, how to make it, living out the words of an FM station. Every high, every low, we were raised by the radio. We were knocking on heaven's door, dancing in the streets with Jesse's girl, trying to get Jenny on the line, calling 867-5309. We were raised by the radio, tuning our time, learning about love from the songs we love with the speakers cranked up. We were flying through life with our fingers on the dial. It's a crazy ride, how to make it, living out the words of an FM station. Every high, every low, we were raised by the radio. We were raised by the radio. Living life in the fast lane, stealing kisses in the purple rain. We were raised by the radio, tuning our time, learning about love from the songs we love with the speakers cranked up. We were flying through life with our fingers on the dial. It's a crazy ride, how to make it, living out the words of an FM station. Every high, every low, every high, every low, we were raised by the radio. We were born to run, we were living on a prayer, burning hearts like Jack and Diane.
And we almost got caught.
We're sitting there chatting, trying to figure out where we're going at next. That was Derek Norsworthy, and he's still in the studio with us. And we were talking about everything that you're doing for the passion of music and everything. And one of the things that you were involved in, or the founder of, is Roots Foundation. So tell us a little bit about Roots Foundation, and if you're looking for contributions or anything like that, or tell us basically what Roots Foundation, the mission statement, and what it's about.
Yeah, so essentially what we're doing is we're promoting Mississippi people, and one of the things on the website is to grow where you grew, and I think back to the that scene we talked about earlier, and so the more I've been out, it's been more important to me not to be competitive these days, but to cultivate, and which led to the rep your roots. And being out in Nashville a good bit, there's so many people from Mississippi who are in Nashville who've done. Craig Wiseman, for instance, he's probably one of the greatest songwriters to ever hit the streets of Nashville. He owns a label called Big Loud Shirt. He's had like tons of #1 songs. He's from Hattiesburg. Travis Meadows is from Jackson. Randy Howe. I mean, the list, we're cranking so many people out of the state. And I just didn't feel like, I got to Nashville and like all these people have done these incredible things. Like, why are they not coming back home and inspiring kids in schools and handing out, giving guitars and telling their stories? Because like, there's got to be another one. Like, we can't just say like, we can't just lean on the fact of like, oh, they'll come on up. Like why don't we go inspire people? Right. And so I was like, you know what? All these other places are doing this. Georgia, for instance, like they've got Luke Bryan and Jason Aldean, and they literally have it's like, you got to earn your spot, but they really created a foundation of people where they can crank out artists from their state, and it keeps culture alive, throughout their state. And in doing that, that's when I started Record Roots. I was like, we'll go to schools, we'll donate guitars, we'll do, work with other nonprofits, play free shows, do whatever it takes, but just something that cultivates music and growing great art out of Mississippi, and hopefully being a glue that can pull some of those people back in to come and go to schools and inspire kids. That's the whole thing, is to inspire people to continue to create, because it's the birthplace of America's music, and that's great, and it is. But if you're going to keep being a leader on the global community, we got to focus on the youth. We got to focus on those little scenes throughout the state that are making people want to go play guitar and want to be that 17-year-old that cares about it so much that he's willing to cut heads off. We got to do that. So that's what it's all about. We're just an organization. It's philanthropic, pulls people together, promotes people to grow where you grew.
I tell you what, we can talk about it later. Now is not the time to really do it, but whatever we can do to be a part of that, to help you with that, promoting what you're doing or anything like that. Let's talk about that so we can help you. So,
real quick, 1 second. Everybody's saying in the comments that we may be a little low on the volume. I'm doing what I can over here to try to make sure I got it the best setup we can. But if we can just stay real close up on the mics and let us know, guys, in the comments, are we all low or is it sounding okay? But go ahead. We'll go back to that question. I didn't want to interrupt, but I want everybody to be able to hear him.
No, what I was saying is kind of what his mission is kind of where we want to head. We want to give them that platform that if they want to be that aspiring musician, that they have a platform that they can come on, and even if it's just playing acoustically, they don't have any lyrics or anything, they just want to play the guitar and show their talents. That's what we want to be able to do. So what I was saying with your foundation is whatever we can do to help you, we want to be involved with that.
And likewise, and like what you're saying, having that foundation, having that platform, that and having that scene and building that culture, that gives the guy who learns how to play guitar really well in his bedroom, if he goes out and sees a band like what you guys are doing at Thunders on the 3rd, he might hear about it. He goes out there. He doesn't know where to get into a band, but there's somebody else there. That's how that keeps.
That's
you
right.
It's all about networking, and that's the one thing that I did love about the scene when I was in it the first time was you could put on a show, and if another band wasn't playing, they were at your show. Yeah. They were networking, and bands from Louisiana were inviting bands from Mississippi to come play with them. They would return the favor and come from Louisiana to play here in Mississippi. And you were able to bounce back and forth, and you watched that scene. You watched it build and build and build and build. And then you saw bands coming out of Atlanta like Uncrowned coming down here to play, Egypt Central out of Memphis. And then they would take the bands and, hey, you know what? I watched bands go up to Atlanta and play with Uncrowned. So it's just being able to build that camaraderie, that networking. And like I said, we're not in it for the glory. We're not in it for the fame. We're in it for the passion of the music. And I think we covered this in the very first episode.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
I mean, I get in trouble for how much music I bounce around in the house. I'll go from country to rap to 80s hair metal and then back, and I'll sit on YouTube and I'll sit there and try to find these videos just like Jared does. We'll try to find these bands, and we're digging, and that I think that's what's going to help is everybody digging to find these bands and find these friends and network.
Yeah, and I think about now more so than ever, being on Spotify and having these platforms like this, I come across bands that are literally they'll come on a playlist and I'm like, man, so I'll go look at their Spotify and they'll 200 plays on the song, but it's an incredible song. So then I become a fan of that band, and it would be great, like what you're saying, if you had that scene was there. Well, then you say, hey Kevin, you got this show, check this band out. They would probably be a great fit. Well, then they come here, and then you go there, and then so now the potential to actually even grow even further is it's limitless. But it's just building that platform and getting people to rally and get behind it again.
He and I are already on it. There's a band out of Atlanta that we really dig. There's a band out of San Antonio, Texas that we really dig. That we would love to be able to get them over here. But the point is trying to get them over here so we can book a show with them. Yeah. But all bands, they need that. So somebody from San Antonio that's 8 hours away needs that 4-hour spot that they can play a show before they get here to kind of
Yeah, the routing.
it's all about the routing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
I hope everybody's being able to hear. I'm working on my asshole if you're trying to figure it out. They say me and you are loud enough, but that these other two mics, I don't know. We're all set on the same settings, so we're gonna figure it out.
So we'll figure it out. But, Derek, I want to thank you for stopping by. I know you're busy. You were supposed to be on last time. You ended up going out of town because you're so busy.
Yeah.
So
That's a good thing.
I always say that if you're not busy in music, which I mean, a lot of times, like I was supposed to be off the last 2 weeks of the year, and I was like, you know what, this is kind of cool. And then it kind of gets scary because you know, like in music, you're like, nobody wants me. You know, like, but then like the stuff started popping up, and like, hey, can you be here for a meeting on Monday? Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, let's do it.
And as a musician, from the time of I tell people this all the time. If you find a musician out there and their answer is no,
Yeah.
they're not doing any. Like your answer, yep, I'll be there. And
Absolutely.
and for me, that's always been my spirit because you never know like when you're going to go somewhere and it's going to be that one experience that you get that great right or you meet that awesome person. And so it's fun to say yes when it comes to music because there's the passion behind that, and you never know where it's going to take you. Like here tonight. You're gonna have to run me off the show because I will rattle about culture and music and creating that scene. But like Kevin here, I mean, I see him all the time, and literally, I mean, tremendous respect because without him, I probably would have never started a band. I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, this guy right here, and I would hear him come on.
That's you, man.
Three Doors Down.
That's
back
you.
in the day, they would play CPR Fest, and I'll never forget the commercial. You remember the band? I don't know whatever happened to him. But a band called Orleander, and they had a song called It's a Reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if they were signed.
They were, yeah.
But you were playing them, and Three Doors Down opened for them, and it was like, hey, special creators, CPR. I was in my bedroom, like going to sleep, and like literally, like it's like I'm gonna start a band. That's what inspired me, and like that flame that was lit through that, through that passion, because you conveyed that through radio, through and that's literally what got me into wanting to play music, and so to be here tonight and to actually talk about this and that bled into me, and it's a spirit that's still alive. It's incredible, and there's a shared passion there. So I'm grateful to be on the show with you guys.
Well, dude,
and just to be here tonight.
Thanks for stopping by.
I will tell you this: you are more than welcome anytime that you're in town and we're doing a show. You're more than welcome to swing by and chat it up.
I would love to, man. This is all, what you guys are doing here is incredible. It's necessary, and to have people with passion doing it, like literally, I just hope that there's somebody out there listening who is like me when I was 12 years old or however old. I don't know. I think I was like 14. But to get inspired like that,
Yeah.
to get fired up and go to school and kick people's ass and get them to start a band.
That's it.
I hope that happens.
Trying to infiltrate the digital age here.
There we go. All right. Well, Derek, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I look forward to having you on again at some time.
I would love to stop by.
I'm
Cool.
inspired, but just listen to him. I want to go home and write a new album now.
He
Yeah,
almost
man.
brought tears to my eyes when he was. I was like, "What, really?"
Well, you can hear it. You can hear that it's music is your shit. Like
Yeah.
that's your jam. Dude.
It's just I get literally started burning it doesn't go away. And I found all these people who you see people all the time who have these like fantastic like jobs or they seem like so put together, and all they want to do is start a band or play guitar, and it's like, dude, like come on. Like, and they would literally like quit their job. Like there's a guy I met this is a funny story. I met a guy who
I can relate to this. Keep
who
going.
invented a pay-per-view, and I was at the Wharf amphitheater playing a show down there, and he told me this is a funny story. The guy, I mean, he's just got everything you could potentially ask for as far as like making it in life, and he's like, man, I was in a band and we were touring. I was playing drums, and if I hadn't have done X, I could probably still be out there touring. And I'm like, wow, like that is what music does. No matter what you go do, if it's in you and it burns in you, it don't go away.
Never.
It just keeps, and the more you suppress it, the brighter it wants to burn. And if you can suppress it, you're miserable, and you might as well just get out there and spread the passion and joy. And like just like tonight, like to come here and to tell him that, like, I mean, it feels awesome, like, because it's the truth, and to keep sharing those kind of stories, and that's what keeps those flames burning.
100%, man. That's 100% correct. You're speaking some real truths right there, dude. What where?
Chills.
Yeah,
Is that
dude,
right?
Yeah, no shit. Where are we headed next, man? Kevin, you're the El Capitan on this.
We are rolling into some other videos. I forgot where we were at.
It's right here. I need you to pronounce it for me so I don't slaughter it.
Eris.
Thank you.
Eris is the name of the band. This is the band out of Atlanta that we were talking about.
Yes, these dudes are good. I'm really digging what they're doing. Hit them up on Facebook Messenger. They said play the stuff. So we're going to drop their stuff down in the comment section too, make it even easier for y'all to find it. Tell us what you think. Let us know if you like it. Let's see here. Let's transition over.
You should know this by now. That's when I gotta take the proving myself. I can't accept that I'm not enough. Oh yeah, how did it end up like this? Keep me swinging from the fences, but I've been sitting on the fence, yeah. Take another look, let's travel the road. Shit's creep without a hope, but everything flows. So why am I afraid to swim? I've been going on the deep end. God, at the end I die. Finally
I told you.
Ah,
I told you.
angry.
I told you.
That is Arabesque, and they are out of Hattiesburg. And some of you from the local scene down here may know Jeff Thompson, who plays drums in some bands and stuff like that. That's his son's band. So
They brought the pain, sir.
Yes, wow, angry.
Yeah, big time.
So love it. Good stuff.
So if y'all stuck with us this long, man, we appreciate it. This was episode 4.
Yes, we want to thank Derek for stopping in. James Gillies, he's still in here with us, hanging out. So, and that's the cool thing. I love it when y'all come in, y'all just hang out, you stay, and some of the conversations that have been had off of the air have been some great conversation. We just need to.
It's
record.
all recorded. Yeah, it's all recorded.
It's all recorded. We'll probably throw some snippets.
Well, we're gonna edit it up
Snippets.
for an actual audio podcast too, so people can listen to it while they're driving down the road. So,
Gotcha.
who's this guy?
Scott Keller once again is back. He's made all 4 episodes, but this will be the 3rd one he's been on.
Well, that'll be like a good trivia question.
I live in the alley behind the building, so I just
You just kind of roll around.
yeah.
So what's going on with Scott Keller?
Oh, just came to remind you guys about the Coveys coming up in March.
March 19th, right? At the Hard Rock Live. We will be there. We will be hanging out, chatting with people. Once again, Scott, thank you. Shelly, thank you for letting us be a part of it. However,
Did you tell them about your feature? Did you mention the
I
feature?
hadn't gotten that far yet.
Oh, he gets very upset if you mention something that was in his brain that he was about to say.
Oh.
He gets
Go
super
right ahead,
testy,
go right
bro.
ahead.
Hey, look, this is what I'm dealing with every episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the January issue of Coast Observer has 2 features in it that Scott has done. One of them is on Silent Trust, which is the band out of Long Beach that'll be playing our show March 9th at Thunder's Tavern. Cheap plug. The other feature
Cheap ticket.
is on The Sound, on Jared, myself, the whole Castnet
Logo.
Studios umbrella. So thank you, Scott. If you haven't checked it out, you can check it out virtually at coastobserver.com. Just go to the issues and flip through it. If I remember right, it's page 32. I didn't look.
I think it was 30.
I can read, I can't count.
So it's in the 30s. I promise you that. But definitely check it out. Check out the whole magazine because Shelly and the group that she has put together over the years a great entertainment magazine for the Gulf Coast, and she's done an awesome job. If you want to say thank you to Shelly, you can do it this Sunday at Big Play for the New Orleans Saints playoff party that she does.
Yeah,
man, like I knew what I was talking about.
Yeah, that's cool. It's like he zapped in there and just made some sense. I love it.
And if you don't know, the Saints will be playing the Philadelphia Eagles because they beat the Bears. Philly!
It's a good day to be a Saints fan.
It's a great
I want to
day
mention
to
something
be
real quick. I want to call out. I did this earlier, but Magnolia Bayou. We've played their music on episode 1 and 2. Maybe I don't remember anymore, but we've played them. Cedric, you were in their comments earlier. I'm calling y'all out.
Thank you.
I'm calling y'all out.
This shirt will never get worn again if Magnolia Bayou does not show up.
I
on
need
this
y'all
show.
in here, man. These dudes are. I've seen them live at the Glory Bound
Glory
in Ocean
Bound.
Springs.
How
I'm
come
telling
everybody
y'all.
says Glory Bound, but they don't ever say that? How do you say it? Is it gyro? Hero?
I call it a Euro, but I'm
Euro, Hyro.
Anyway,
Gyro.
y'all are on. Yeah, the target's on your back. I need to see y'all here. I'm looking at the camera. Y'all are all like, "What's he looking at?" I'm looking at the camera. It's an internet show.
Are you threatening Derek?
Oh, it's internet show.
I'll
Jesus Christ.
totally join their band. They're all-
So, James Gillies, real quick, rundown where you're going to be at again.
January 12th, I'll be at Bozo's in Pascagoula at noon, and later that night at Sea Grapes Wine Cafe at 7. And January 13th, me and Rob Gronkowski will be at the Landing in Slidell.
Nice.
And more dates on the Facebook at James Gillies Live, also Instagram, James Gillies Live.
Perfect. Scott, you said everything you needed to say.
Oh yeah.
Nothing else.
There's
Random
a
thought.
couple shows this month. Some other bands. Ooh, I'm way back in the mic. I was going to plug a couple of.
Thank you for doing
shows
that.
going around
Thank
there.
you for noticing that.
Yeah, I was
You know what I
listening
mean?
all the way over here.
Yeah.
That's a lead singer for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
The band Cronite's going to be at the Celtic January 11th, January 18th. Burn and Teratoma are at Thunder's Tavern, January 19th. Did you mention? Let's see. Oh, Absence Project, Silent Trust, Jupiter Pile. You guys probably already hit that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to run this down real quick. You mentioned Thunder's Tavern having Burn and Teratoma.
Yes.
Whoever went on our Facebook page or on our post that we did that they said that Thunder's doesn't allow metal bands. Go out and see Teratoma and Burn at Thunder's.
Oh yeah.
He's had tons of metal.
Yes.
I don't know where that came from,
Yeah.
but yeah. Anyways, they said it doesn't allow metal bands. Well, you know what? Burn and Teratoma will tear the place down.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
all right.
probably
So that
literally.
was it with you. You got it. Yeah, that was in there.
Blood and everything.
All right. Derek, you want to say anything? You got a good. I think you did a good job, man. Yeah. Will you come back and hang out with us again?
I could do several episodes.
Yeah, he said he could do several episodes off camera. I was feeling it, man. That was a good interview. Kevin, until next time, we don't have a date set up for the next one yet, or do we? The next live stream show.
Right now, we're shooting for January 27th.
Okay, it'll be on the Facebook page, guys. Once again, if you could
And just so you guys know, we have trouble scheduling because we both do have full-time jobs.
Yeah.
And
so if you like
he's
what you
on
see,
call a lot,
Yep.
and I work retail. I mean,
share. That's the word of the day.
Yes.
Please just share it if you like it. Share it if you could. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
We're out of here, dude.
Peace.
Thanks a lot.